What up, folks? How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you all for being patient. I'm gonna adjust the music just a little bit so you guys can hear it, but it doesn't blast in my ears. Let me know how the music sounds right now. I actually thought my last stream was a little bit loud, but if you guys liked it, it's all good. All right, who do we have here? We got Luke, Usbucks, Burke, Rickety, Yadvir, Ambi, Rosie. What's up, everybody? Hello, hello. Welcome to an uneventful day of trades, unfortunately. Especially, well, specifically in the NFL world, but hello. It looks like we already got some questions in, so let me get everything pulled up here. How's everyone tonight so far? Sam, what's up? Glad you made it. Welcome. Just make sure everything sounds good, yeah? Mic check, music check. All right, let's make sure the video looks good and we should be good to go. I know you guys probably all got the notification and you guys probably didn't see it, but let me know what you guys think about the thumbnail. Try to make it relevant, at least a little bit relevant. Mason, what's up? Welcome. All right, looks like we got some questions in, so let me start from the top, and I promise, as always, I will get to everyone. So let me just make sure we can get chat going. Recording date, okay. Save, and we should be good to go. Okay, we'll start from the beginning. We'll get through these questions, and we'll talk a little bit about NFL today, and we can talk more about waiver wires and my video from earlier today for any of you that watched it. So let's see, Rickety, what do we have here? Rate my trade. I gave Andrews and got McLaurin. I have Fant and my other tight end and Burton and Logan. So yeah, I like that. Is this the same one that you talked about last night, Rickety? Because yeah, that's the one I do like for sure. I like it. Luke says in terms of Herb, Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Julio, Waller. Okay. Nice. Any changes you make before heading into the playoffs? So you've got a decent quarterback. You've got Jacobs, Aaron Jones, that's fine. Julio, A-Rob, that's good. Waller, Edmonds, Eckler, T. Higgins. I think you're pretty set. You can try and potentially trade for like a more like solid wide receiver one, something like a DK potentially, Luke. But otherwise, I think it's pretty solid, and that's a good reason why you're at 7-1. All right, let's see. Rickety, which RB should I prioritize to trade? I really need help because Gaskin injury and not very confident in CH. So stick with CH, but you can try and pick up Breida this week. I think, honestly, if Wayne Gallman is available right now, try and grab him. I would honestly work the waiver wires as much as you can before you need to trade for a running back. All right, so Mason, welcome. I think you're new here. Oh yeah, Veer, sorry. I'm going to get to your question in a second as well. Trade Myles Gaskins for Chase Edmonds. You could, but honestly, I think you're only going to get at most like maybe a week of production out of Chase Edmonds if Drake comes back soon. Because let me see, Cardinals schedule, don't they also have a bye soon? I don't know if that's going to help you that much, honestly. Cardinal schedule. So they play. Oh, maybe they don't have a bye soon, but I feel like Drake is going to come back soon, and I mean, Edmonds is going to be good, but I still think you might be able to potentially just grab a running back off of the waiver wires. I don't know if you looked at my list yet, Mason, but go check it out and see if there's anyone that's available. You could do that. I just don't know how many weeks you're going to really be able to get out of Chase Edmonds before Drake is back. So Yadvir, so let me get back to you. So Aaron Jones, I think it's going to be tough for him to play. Hasty or Breida, probably lean a little bit Hasty because we see that he was the lead back from last week. Sam, you lost by a few points. CH and Literally, yeah, that was tough. I mean, what can you do? I lost by 5 points. I was telling people on the stream yesterday I lost by 5 points playing against Dalvin Cook, so that was tough. I honestly I thought I played my lineup well, but if I'm going to lose to a team that has Dalvin Cook by 5 points, I'll take it, I can't complain. Ambi, Teddy, Cousins, Benz, and Rivers. Ambi, are you talking about for this week or just a pickup in general? Drop Beasley for Marvin Jones. I honestly like Beasley a lot, man. I think he's really consistent, and I think, I think he's got a solid floor. Marvin Jones will probably be okay, but I still see him as more of like a 3 to 5 reception kind of guy, whereas Beasley will probably give you a solid floor with maybe like 7 receptions. If you need the points, Bucks, maybe go for Marvin Jones, because he's going to be a solid play now, especially with Connie Galladay out for a little bit. But otherwise, I really do like Beasley. I think he's criminally underrated this season. Luke, you don't think he's a solid? I was thinking about trying to upgrade A-Rob. No, I think he is. Here, let's pull up his stats. I think he can be a little bit inconsistent. At least, I stopped owning him because over the last few years, he's always been pretty inconsistent, where he'll, put up 30-plus point games and then have like, 3-point game. Even look at it this year, right? He went 15, 2, 3, 25, 9, 13. So to me, he seems super up and down. Maybe he'll benefit from Calvin Ridley being gone, but he might just draw more coverage. So he is a wide receiver 1, but I think he's more on the lower end-ish, where he's just like a little too inconsistent for me to play. He's right now ranked the 19th wide receiver in half PPR. Which of my receivers should I trade for? RB, AJ Brown, Robbie Anderson, McLaurin, Higgins, or Jalen Reagor? I would maybe try and package someone like a Robbie Anderson or a Jalen Reagor. Robbie Anderson wouldn't be a bad guy to try and trade, especially with CMC coming back. He might take away a lot of targets from him. So I don't think that's actually, honestly, a bad idea at all if you did want to try and get rid of, Robbie Anderson. I need a long-term RB. I was offered Miles Sanders for EJ and Reagor. That's a tough one. It all depends on how much you like CH, right? I still like him, but that might not be a bad trade for you. You just won't have him for 2 weeks, right? At least. So that's something to consider. So Jose, welcome. So with CMC coming back, do you think he's going to have a welcome back? I think so. As long as he's back and he's healthy, I think he's going to be great. So I don't, if he's healthy and playing, he's automatically RB1. Ambi, Davis, what's up? Nice to see you in here. Let's talk about your Kittle loss, right? But before that, Ambi, so for this week, so you said, let me go back to, so you're streaming QB, which one and in which order? All right, so let's go back up again. I know you talked about, I think it was like Teddy, right? It was, let me go back. I wish I can like highlight people's names and stuff, but I know, we haven't had that much. Dang, Ambi, sorry, I'm trying to find your message from before. Okay, there we go. Thank you for putting that. Okay, Teddy, Cousins. Okay, so let me pull up my rankings for this week and see who they all have. So obviously Rivers has a pretty tough matchup against the Ravens. All right, so we have Teddy, Rivers, Cousins, and Ben. Who did the Steelers play? I kind of lean him, actually. I think I have him a little bit higher in my rankings. They play the Steelers play the Cowboys. Go for Big Ben. I think, yeah, I like that. I'm gonna stick with him. He will see a lot of targets and I'm full PPR. I think some of his games that's fair. And I don't really doubt him. I've just been burned by him so many times that I kind of refuse to spend a high round pick on him anymore, just because he feels so inconsistent, whether it's with this game script or injuries to me. But that's all. I don't mind him. When do you see Eckler coming back? Should I look to trade him? My RBs are Eckler, Fournette. He should be coming back soon, man. And I think at this point, if you've been holding on to him, especially if you drafted him, just hold on to him. If you, again, always trade up if you can, but you could try and package Eckler and Chase Edmonds. That wouldn't be a bad idea because you maybe get some immediate production. But honestly, I would probably just wait on Eckler. Maybe trade away Chase Edmonds and Fournette. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Ricky, you currently have Stafford and Cam. Who do you want to start this week? So Stafford's playing the Vikings, right? And Cam is playing... That's tough. If I had to choose between one of those two, I'd probably go Stafford, but just slightly. Yeah, I would probably go Stafford because I feel like Cam is really rushing touchdown dependent. I mentioned it yesterday, but I don't even like his I don't honestly love his prospects as a passing quarterback. I think all of his points are going to be coming from the actual rushing touchdowns that he's going to get. I'm afraid to stream Big Ben against Dallas because Steeler deal limits the ceiling. I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, if they're going to get up, a lot of it's going to be due to him, so I wouldn't worry about that. Just, you know, Ambi, just play the best matchups. I think we overthink it too much if we think like, okay, well, we want the best matchups, but like, is it too good of a matchup? Like, just, you know, don't psych yourself out of that. He has the best matchup. It's against the Dallas D. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he scored like 5 touchdowns in like the 2 quarters and gets benched, which you'll be fine. Would you start Gronk or Logan Thomas? So who are the Bucks playing this week? Let me see. Honestly, like without even looking at it, I'd say Gronk. He's been super consistent. I've been talking about him for a few weeks now for people to pick up, so I'll go Gronk for both the floor and the ceiling over Logan Thomas. Den P, love the view for sure. Thank you for stopping by. You know, there's definitely a lot more important things going on right now, so you do you, but thank you for dropping in, Den. What do you think about Eckler, Fournette, and Edmonds for King Henry? That's probably not a bad trade. So that's actually something I want to talk about with everyone in here, because I actually got a really tasty trade offer that I'm thinking about, and it involves Derrick Henry. So let me table that for a second, and I want to talk about the trade. Trade away AB for Gibson, Yadvir. You could, but I honestly would maybe hold on to AB, especially if you need wide receivers, to see how he does. Davis, and which TDs to pick up, Schultz, Hooper, Thomas, or Reed? I would probably prioritize Reed for right now. I think he's going to have some good production until he gets injured, but I like his high side the most. Marlo, what's up? Tarkler or J-Slide, Will Lutz, Carlson, who's the best? If you're looking for just this week, why I would say, you know, Will Lutz in general. I would go Will Lutz. And yes, Luke, that is a Dodgers Cup. Got it when I actually went to a game last year when that was all possible. So good catch there. Oop. Oh, I got a little. It's not even my hair. That's a part of my hat. Which RBs would you try and buy for this week and rest of the season? Rickety, I really like Josh Jacobs as a buy low. And sorry if you just, but I missed if Kitto's worth keeping in. I don't think he is. I think he's gonna be out for like, what is it, at least 8 weeks, right? I know he said he's gonna be back in 2, but I think he's out and he's gonna be out for 8 weeks, and that's gonna be like the end of playoffs for us. So I don't think it's worth. I just drop and like stop worrying about him. I was working at box all day and just got Berg. Hey, you know, thank you for doing that. You know, we need more people like you. How was it? How was your overall ballot experience? And be rank these tight ends for this week. Thomas, Ebron, Tanyan, Ingram, Burton. Okay, so let me pull up my handy dandy list. So Ebron we got against Dallas, right? Tanyan, we have, where are the Packers playing this week? So okay, Tanyan, Thomas, Ingram, and Burton. Okay, so I would probably put Burton and Ebron up there. Then I would go Tanyan, Thomas, and then Ingram. Maybe swap the last 2, but I would say Ebron and Burton up there based on matchup. Right into the free, hey, just for you, Burke, right? I wanted you to come home and you know, relax to my smooth stream. Jacobs or Eckler when they're full healthy PPR. I like Jacobs a little bit more, I think, just because I think we have yet to see sort of what Eckler looks like in just Herbert's offense. Jacobs is going to get a lot of touches, so purely just on volume, I like that a little bit more. Pretty good, not as many people as I expected, probably because of massive increase in early votes this year, but no, good. I'm glad you're able to do that. Thank you for doing that. Sam, should I drop Chark? Who else could you pick up, Chark? It all depends on who you'd be swapping for. One of my leagues, I made a note, and I have Derrick Henry and Kamara both drafted. Nice. That's, I mean, I don't know how you got that, but that's awesome. How would you rank this week's waiver wire pickups? It's you know, it's a little bleak, but I still think there's guys out there that can definitely help people out, especially the wide receivers. The wide receivers always seem like there's a bunch to pick up, especially in PPR leagues. So it's a little tough, especially in the running back aisle, because I don't think there's like a must pick up, but it's all right. You know, you can. I always think that you can always have like a team from the waiver wire that could probably score like top 3 in any league each week. So I don't mind it. Drop Blankenship or Koo. Ambi, I'm gonna always lean Blankenship over Koo. That's my thought. Marlo, trade Michael. Let's see, trade Michael Thomas and Gaskin for James Conner. Do you think they? I don't think so. Especially with Gaskin out right now. Depends on the owner if they need running backs right now, but that seems like a tough trade. Corey Davis hopefully in last waiver since I'm in plus. Oh, okay. Yeah, Corey Davis. Oh, yeah, I would drop Chark for Corey Davis for sure, Sam. Yeah, keep hot rod. Okay, Rosie. Okay, should I drop any of these players? McKinnon, Leif Bell, Goddard, Jonu Shepard. For any of these players, Breida, Hasty, Wilkins, Lamichael, Gallman, Corey. Yes, so you should drop. Honestly, I would maybe drop one of your tight ends. I don't know who I dislike more for Trey Burton. Drop McKinnon for Hasty. If you don't need Shepard, I would maybe pick up. Yeah, I mean, drop Shepard for Corey Davis. Actually, do that swap there. Yeah, I think McKinnon and Leif Bell are probably going to be. I mean, McKinnon definitely drop. Then for your wide receivers. Oh, you don't need 3 tight ends. Drop. I would maybe just drop Goddard, and yeah, drop Goddard, and drop. Just flip a coin. Drop Fant or Jonnu. Maybe Fant, I would say. Inceptivus, need a running back for playoffs. Trade for Eckler if you can. I think he's going to be a great back to have. He's coming back hopefully soon. And he should do well in that offense. We don't really know what it's going to look like, especially with Justin Herbert now as a starting quarterback. But I would do that if you can. Start Logan Thomas. It depends on what your other options are. I still have him as like a pretty low floor kind of guy. I think he's going to be able to give you like 4 or 5 points probably. But if you have other options, like any of the guys I talked about on my waiver wire, I would probably go with them instead. Marlo, what about MT and Robert Woods for Connor? I wouldn't give up that much. You're giving up 2 really good wide receivers for Connor. I mean, Marlo, do you really need running backs at this point? And B, drop Gallman for any of these waiver wire for this week. I would keep Gallman. I think he's going to have as good of an opportunity as any of those guys to play, especially for this week. So keep Gallman. Who should I add, Logan Thomas or Burton? I go Burton because he has a higher upside. Start Devontae Parker or AB this week? That's a tough one. I say just go for AB, honestly. I think it's going to give you at least 7 points. I think if why not, right? I don't know that I love Devontae Parker, so I wouldn't mind an AB start. It's kind of bold. Is Gaskin droppable because of his injury? Is Blankenship a good? Yes, I think Blankenship is a very good kicker for the rest of the season. And Gaskin, I don't think he's droppable. I think he's only going to be out for like 2 or 3 weeks. So if you can't hold him because he's going to be good for you going to the playoffs. But yeah, anyways, I kind of want you guys to. Without looking at anything, I want you guys to rank this trade proposal that I got today because I was very tempted to take it right away. But now I have second thoughts, and I want to see if anyone knows why. So this is half PPR. Someone's going to be sending me Derrick Henry, Darius Slayton, and Philip Lindsay for Chase Claypool, David Johnson, and Stephon Diggs. Okay? Now you might be saying, wow, you're losing a lot with, you could be losing a lot with David Johnson and Stephon, especially, but my wide receivers are Devontae Adams, Corey Davis, Travis Fulgham, AB Aguilar, outside of that. So I'm very curious to see what you guys think. If it's like a must take, because I would be getting Ken Henry. For sure, right? And so it looks like, we got an interesting, David says he likes that a lot. Take it, who is your running back? So I have Josh Jacobs, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman. So my weakness here is definitely the running backs. Honestly, take it if you have good wide, I do have very good wide receiver depth. And isn't Henry's playoff schedule crazy? So, okay, so everyone here says to take it, right? Okay, so it seems like a very good take, right? Here's my one concern, right? So, obviously I need that. I'm gonna have Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry as my running backs, right? The thing is, I looked at Derrick Henry's schedule. Okay, Henry obviously sounds good. How many people in the league? It's 14-man league. Charlie said to take it because Henry is miles better than DJ. Yep. If you need RB, yes, because Johnson's not going to be very good for us. You should take it. DJ's RB too. Okay, so that's what everyone says, right? And that's honestly that's what I did too, because that's like that when I thought about it, that's exactly what I thought. And I was like, I want a caliber player like Derrick Henry. Here's the thing I want you guys to consider, okay? So I looked again at Derrick Henry's schedule, and here's who he has over the next 4 weeks. Chicago, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Indianapolis, and week 13 is Cleveland. Okay, so I'm making this trade because obviously I need help at running back, but he's playing 4 of probably, you know, the top 4 or 5 defenses in the league, right? And I think that's something to at least consider. I would not be surprised if he, you know, obviously he's a great running back. I wouldn't be shocked if he potentially had less than 400 yards over the next month. Right now my record is 3-5, which is tough because I have the second most points scored in a 14-man league. So obviously I need the player right away. I need some running back depth, but it's also partly, I think, just unlucky. And I would be giving away a really good wide receiver in exchange for potential mediocre performance over the next 4 weeks. You know, that's the thing. You should make the trade with less players. Other places giving you could be droppable. Just do a 2-for-1 instead of 3-for-3. Well, that's the point, is he's adding those other guys, right? So I want at least some guys that I can potentially stash. Like someone said, Philip Lindsay's stock is going up a little bit, and Darius Slayton could be. I at least want some depth. Exactly, Davis. So, you know, the big thing is like, I think I'm gonna lean towards. I lean towards taking it. But that's just something, you know, it's sort of a case study I wanted y'all to think about, and you know, just realize that besides just, you know, the name, there's a lot to it too. I really think Baltimore, Indy. I don't know I think he's gonna have a really hard time breaking 100 yards. Yep, AB and Adams, don't worry about your receiver. Yeah, for sure. And like, I think I'm very fine giving up Diggs, even though, you know, he is the 6th highest scoring wide receiver right now. Diggs is probably one of the safest guys, but I think I'm gonna make it just because I do want Henry. I think Henry and Adams together hopefully will, you know, be good for me. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's just a little what does chat think, and kind of wanted to get your thoughts on it. Let's see if I got any more. No more questions. Yeah, so I guess, you know, for you, yep, for sure. What was the trade again? So he's sending Derrick Henry, Darius Slayton, and Philip Lindsay, and I'm sending David Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Stephon Diggs. So essentially, I'm not losing anything at running back. I would just be losing like a very solid wide receiver 2 behind Devontae Adams. And if for some reason Adams gets injured again, I'm screwed. But I feel okay with my depth that I think I'm willing to give up Stephon, is what I'll say. So I feel okay about it. But in other words, let's talk a little bit about, you know, the NFL today. So not a lot of trades happen, right? You could just do it with Johnson and Diggs because Claypool has a lot of upside. And that's the thing, right? He would be depth as well. The only reason I think I was willing to give up Claypool was because I'm a little bit concerned about like the prospect and how many mouths there are to feed currently with the Steelers. So I feel like he might be a little bit boom and bust at the moment. Henry, Lindsay, we'll see if he takes it. I don't know if that's enough to get Derrick Henry, honestly, but we'll see. What do you think about Meg Mark Andrews rest of the season? I think he's really boom and bust. Sorry, not boom. I think he's very TD dependent in Septimus. So I don't love his floor right now because it looks like if he doesn't get a TD, he kind of just you know, bottoms out at like under 5 points. So I don't love it, honestly, is what I'll say. Feast or famine, because yep, exactly, for sure. I agree with that. Okay, so Davis, let's look at this. You want to do some roster turning? Okay. I have Hasty, P. Ryan, Scott, Kittle, and Jamal Williams droppable. I'm targeting Reed as a Kittle replacement, but who should I have as a backup? It's always hard to hold two guys, right? Especially two tight ends. I would just try and get Reed and see who else you can pick up to add a little bit more depth for the rest of your roster. And if you have that open space, then you know, once waiver is clear, see if you can just pick up another tight end. But I wouldn't waste a waiver priority and worry about it just yet. You know, I really don't think Kittle's gonna last. I really don't think Reed is gonna last a lot. But you never know, right? He could. So yeah, I think you're okay for now, at least I will say. So just grab Reed and just, yeah, take a look at the waiver wire and see if anyone else is out there. And Septivus, start Jimmy Graham this week or start Mark Andrews. I really don't like the Ravens matchup against the Colts this week is what I'll say. I think people are thinking that it's going to be a blowout when it really isn't. So I don't know, that's really tough. Jimmy Graham hasn't been playing that well, right? And who did the Bears play this week? Let's see. The Bears played the Titans. I'm honestly inclined to say Jimmy Graham. Just mainly based on matchups, and the Titans have a really, really bad defense. I feel like Jimmy Graham could be good for a touchdown here. Do you have any faith in Hasty or P. Ryan? My weight we're sick, so I'm not concerned. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I do. I don't love the 49ers backfield. I think long-term P. Ryan's probably going to be a little bit better for you and have a little bit more potential. But it's tough because he hasn't really blown up and the Jets aren't very good. I short-term maybe Hasty, but long-term for the rest of the season, I would probably say P. Ryan. If you're trying to get into the playoffs, you know, obviously go Hasty right now. But P. Ryan could be worth a stash for the playoffs. Thoughts on Wentz or Burrow for the rest of the season? Which one's the best for the season? Wentz has to use schedule and make the decision. Burrow has 2 series game. I think I like Wentz a tiny bit more than Burrow. I think they're both solid quarterbacks for the rest of the season, Ambi. But I do like Wentz a little bit more. How's Jamal? I think it sounds like I don't know if it's final yet, but it sounds like he is. You know, he's got the Rona. So let's see if there's any updates on it. So I think we need to see what the finalizes, but if he's got the Rona, then he's going to be out a few weeks, and his stock's definitely going to drop because Aaron Jones is probably going to come back soon. I think he still has value, and I think he's still going to be a stash, but he might be useless for you over the next 3 or 4 weeks, unfortunately. Marlo drop Galladay and or Jonathan Taylor in a 6-person league. Marlo, post your roster again. I don't remember it. Let's look at which department you're stronger at. I saw you prefer Hasty over McKinnon, and I dropped McKinnon for Hasty before Sunday's game. What's this second half of the season wide receivers? Some available are okay. So great, right? Because Hasty did. I think Hasty did outperform McKinnon, right? Yeah, I didn't like McKinnon at all. I just want to make sure if I did tell you that I, said it right. 49ers. Let's see stats. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, Hasty. There you go, right? 29 yards and a touchdown versus -1 yards and a touchdown. So, yeah, we got an extra 3 points out of that. All right, so we're looking at the second half of the season. So we have Ruggs, Williams, Miko, Rieger, Richard. I hate dropping him. Buses. Sure, okay. So out of those, I'm assuming you're talking about Mike Williams, right? I would probably go let me think about this. That's tough. I like Ruggs the least out of those. Williams I have as a boom or bust candidate, but probably lean more weeks of boom. Miko, I think he's hopefully going to get a little bit more targets, especially with the Chiefs sort of getting ahead early. But there's still a lot of mouths to feed there. Rieger is someone interesting to see. You know, I'm still not as high on him as like the rest of the internet is, but I think he's worth looking at. And I honestly, like, from a pure target wise, I would probably say Rashard Higgins at first. From a ceiling wise, I would probably say Williams. The biggest question mark or the biggest variance, I would say probably Rieger. Out of those, I know that's not like a direct answer, but that's, you know, I don't think it's a clear-cut answer. That's, you know, how I view those, and I think you should sort of take that and see which one you feel the safest with. Jamal Williams, I still think if you have the spot, he's a good stash because he has value, even when Aaron Jones is there. So I like that. Is McKibben worth a pickup? I don't think so at this point. You know, they call him what, tired? They say he has tired legs, whatever that means. So I don't really trust him until we see more. I don't really see him as someone who's all of a sudden gonna take over for as the main back, and Mostert's gonna be coming back soon. So I'm not super high on McKinnon. How's that with McKinnon? Phil, what's up? Tim Patrick, Kendrick Bourne, Mims, and John Brown on the waivers. Yeah, those are a little bit deeper stashes. I did like Tim Patrick a lot, but I don't. Has he been injured, right? Because I don't think he's been performing well. Kendrick Bourne is actually I think he's a really good flex play this week if you need someone right away. John Brown, I don't like. All right, Marlo. So we're going back to your question. So you have CMC, Kamara, Devontae Adams, Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Jonathan Taylor, Kelly. So you definitely have a lot more running backs. I would hate it if I told you to drop JT, so I don't want to say that. I honestly don't think you need to drop anybody. You have enough depth right now, so I kind of say you keep your team and like don't mess with it. Kendrick gets targets, but what? So are you a 49ers fan? Just out of curiosity. Getting killed this first few weeks with the Mostert down, I keep playing. I know that, right? But so see back this week. Okay. Also, Lazard is droppable. I actually think you should try and keep Lazard. I think he's a really interesting prospect and could be like a pretty good wide receiver too behind Devontae Adams. He played really well earlier this year when he was healthy, so he might actually have the highest upside, especially just because he has Aaron Rodgers on his own. Phil, that's awesome because we had a huge 49ers versus Seahawks debate here last night. I wish you would have been here for that. That was chat got spicy for sure, so that was kind of fun. And Burke, man, that's tough, right? It seems like the 49ers fans are kind of overtaking you. Where are your recruits, man? And Septimus trade Parker, Deontay Johnson, and Jimmy Graham. Too little for Hopkins. If you can get Hopkins with that, but I think right now I don't think the owner. I mean, if the owner takes it, you do it, right? But I don't think the owner takes it, honestly. So I do think it's too little. Hopkins, the side is whoever is getting Hopkins is getting a lot more than those three players because those guys are like almost borderline. Like they're like not every week starts. What team would you rank number one in your power rankings right now? I mean, it's got to be the Steelers, right? They're the only team that's undefeated right now, so it's got to be Steelers for sure. It's hard to not rank them number one just because they haven't lost a game and they play some good teams. Upside is Hasty. Kyle loves him and inserts. Okay, yeah, that's good. I mean, that's really good to hear from a 49ers fan, honestly. So yeah, that's good to know. I mean, I wasn't very high on Hasty. And honestly, like, sure, he did well last week. I'm still not super high on him. 29 yards is not what you want to see out of a running back you're starting. But if he can sneak in a touchdown, like, sure, we'll take it, yeah. So I think out of the drop-off players I have, I'm going to drop Scott for DJ Dallas and drop Kittle for Reed. Is Dexter Williams looking to if Jones is out again? I think that's definitely a deeper stash. He could be, right? Because I know AJ Dillon's out too. It's definitely a deeper stash. I think there are running backs like the ones I talked about in my video today that you can probably stash. It has probably more of a floor, a higher floor, and a little bit of an upside. So I would probably use that spot on someone else. Keep P. Ryan and Hasty for the upside for sure. I think that, and just use Hasty if you need it now. He's gonna become pretty irrelevant soon. With Mostert coming back in probably the next few weeks, so I don't think you need to worry too much about him. Who would be the top 5 picks? Okay, so why don't we just sort this by the actual points that people have scored, right? So we have to consider injury as well. But let's say this season started over right now. Okay, I'm just gonna look at our stats for this season so far. Kamara is going to be, Kamara is going to be one of the, top guys that you want to pick. Most likely Christian McCaffrey as well, even though he's injured now. I think he still goes top. I like Derrick Henry a lot. I still don't understand why Derrick Henry didn't go, up. He wasn't like in a lot of people's top 5s even. So Kamara, CMC, Derrick Henry. I would say Dalvin Cook as well, because he is one of those guys that has the ability to kind of just go off whenever. And that's tough. I normally would say Zeke as well, but probably like if we had a redraft right now with the current situation, I think he goes like maybe bottom of round 1, maybe round 2. So if the Cowboys had like Dak back, he would go top 5 for sure. So I would go there. You can make a case potentially for like maybe DK or Calvin Ridley sneaking up there as well, even Tyreek. I think Tyreek could be probably a good pick. Well, actually, no. I would actually say, sorry, not out of those, I would actually go Devontae Adams first for first wide receiver off the board. And I think, around that like 5 to like 7 spot is usually when we see a wide receiver potentially go. So yeah, that's how I'd rank them. Kittle going out was a bummer. Luckily, I have Jonah looking at my bench. I almost traded him days. Man, yeah, that's tough. Everyone who has Kittle, let's get an F in the chat really quickly, because I know a lot of you guys were telling me that you had Kittle, so that's tough, right? Hey, listen, if he actually comes back in 2 weeks, that's superhuman, but I think he's done for the season, boys. Ronto, what's up? Nice to see you there. I know we have a lot of Kittle owners in here. But hey, that's what fantasy is about, right? We built depth, we have that bench, and we work the waiver wires so that it's really the next man up, and that's what it is in real life football as well. Yep, and that's what the reports are saying. But then someone came in, or he said he thought he would be back in 2 weeks. I don't think he is actually going to be back in 2 weeks, so I would not, I guess, take that into consideration. So yeah. Damn, nice, Sam. That's awesome. Did you already have Gronk for a while, or did you pick Gronk up from us talking about him over the last few weeks? Got 80 million. I know I feel bad for San Francisco, but hey, we were talking about this last night. If the 49ers can actually tank the draft, get a really good pick, they get all their players back next week, like that's gonna be solid for you guys. So it sucks, but you guys had a Super Bowl appearance last year, and that's great. We're actually talking about this. Kind of what your thoughts? Do you think Jimmy G is gone next year, or like what are you guys doing at quarterback? Do you keep him or what? Nice. Okay. Caleb and Jamal Williams. I think Gronk is a good pick. Honestly, Gronk is getting to that territory where I think you could potentially even put him in a flex if you need. Giggles, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again, my friend. It was kind of cool last night for anyone who was in the stream. We actually had sort of a fantasy celebrity come in last night, randomly, and I didn't even notice it for a second. But So I'm not as, I've been to his videos before, but I'm, I just, I don't follow a lot of fantasy YouTubers, but Andrew Kirchhoff. I don't know if you guys know him. I'll type his name, Andrew Kirchhoff. He showed up in the stream last night and kind of dropped some love, so that was pretty cool to see, this dude with over 30,000 subscribers just come in and say hello. So that was kind of tight. That was tight. I don't know how he found me or why he came in, but I appreciate it. Where would Kelsey go in a redraft? He was the 17th pick. I think he probably goes like end of, like tight ends is one of those positions you don't really pick early. I probably would guess like end of, like middle to end of second round. Middle is kind of high, but I would say like probably middle of second round to like middle of third round at the latest. Yeah, I remember drafting Tita again early. I went CMC, Kittle, Galladay, MG3. That's tough. Tight ends is one of those things that it's hard to really it's hard, right? Because you don't want to draft them early, but after like the top 2 or 3, they're kind of like just, there's not a lot left. So it all depends on if you want that advantage over your opponent or not. But yeah, it's a tough position to draft. God, MG3, yeah. McLaurin. I mean, McLaurin was a great pick that far down. I know. I mean, he did really well last year. I'm kind of surprised he dropped that low, but that's good. Yeah, Hawkinson is great. I had him last year too. It was a little I don't think he was great last year, but we can chalk it up to his rookie season. But he was definitely a little bit. I mean, he was inconsistent last year. Not a little bit. He was very inconsistent last year. So that wasn't great. But yeah, he's been doing really well, and he's been getting a lot of looks from Stafford this year. So that's really good. For sure. Daniel Padilla. Yeah. Hey, did you start him based off of my advice? Because I'd be very happy if I at least help one person get some big points. We were actually doing a little bit of a start and sit of the week review last night, like going over what calls they made that were good, what calls they made were bad. Obviously I'm missing a couple, but I thought I overall hit pretty well. Nice, let's go. I love it. Thoughts on MT? He should be back soon, and I expect him to still be wide receiver 1 status when he gets back, but my feeling is that there's a lot of drama going on. I thought maybe he was gonna get traded today, but I just think there's a lot of drama between him and either the team or some of his teammates. I think he's gonna come back, but it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't play again this season, unfortunately. Played him over Taylor and worked out for him in favor. That's awesome. Great job. Yeah, Taylor was not good. I think he got injured a little bit, so it kind of happens. He's been ducking my lineup, yeah. He has been. I hope he comes back soon. I like fantasy football when MT is around. I gotta check out your review stream next time, man. I turn on notifications this time, trying to catch more. Oh no, for sure. Yeah, last night's stream was honestly more kind of like last minute. I wanted to, and I might start doing that more because we actually had a really fun stream last night. Chat was popping. I think we were averaging around like 15 viewers, and everyone was talking. We started talking a little, like there's a lot of trash talking going on between some 49ers and Seahawk fan. So they were ganging up on him a little bit, but last night we had a really good stream, and we went on for almost 3 hours, so it was a fun time for sure. But yeah, like I was saying before, I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't a lot of trades. Let's see what trades did happen. I don't think anything notable, right? NFL trade list. Yeah, go Niners. I had an easy week last week and traded Jamal to Mostert to get a median need measure. Oh yeah, for sure. You did well. There's a good chance that, honestly, by the time Jamal Williams is able to play next time, Mostert is back, and Mostert is a better starter. So, you did really. That's a really solid trade, dude. Good for you there. NFL.com should have a trade tracker, right? Like you would think that they had. I'm not sure if you answered it, but any super high value stashes worth looking into that you didn't mention? Most of them I mentioned, especially the deeper ones. So I would just follow that. I wouldn't keep any guys from you guys at all. So the deeper ones are gonna be like the little. So all the deeper stashes are gonna be the guys that are like, if they're worth a roster spot if you have the space, because they could potentially blow up or like be somewhat useful. And everyone who I say are like pickups are those guys that I think are gonna be able to give you some sort of like a more immediate fill-in, or be able to get you through if you need you have an opening and you need someone to play in a flex or something. Like J-Roop hasn't broken out yet. I mean Josh Jacobs. I know he's not really like a silent guy, but I think he's gonna break out and he could end up as a top 5 running back for the rest of the season. T Higgins I think is so I think T Higgins, Brandon Ayuk both have a good shot of being top 10 wide receiver by the end of the season. I like them both, especially honestly Brandon Ayuk more than anything. I had him as my pick of the week and actually started the week over the last few weeks, and he did as well. I think he was like the 4th or 5th highest scoring wide receiver last week, in addition to including some of the star wide receivers. So Brandon Ayuk I like a lot. If anyone here in chat has him on your waiver wires, I would go pick him up, because I like Ayuk a lot. So yeah, for sure Ayuk. Should I look into starting DJ Chark this week? Giggles, who else do you have going? Timothy, what's up, my man? Welcome. Jason, welcome. Should I trade Clyde for Hawkinson? I wouldn't do that. Hawkinson is great, but I don't think he's like, I would only do that for someone like a Kelsey. Check out my video. Try and grab a tight end off of the waiver wires. I would not trade Clyde for Hawkinson, 100%. Sam Morales, dream hunt for James Hunt. I go James Robinson. Whoever gets James Robinson wins that trade. Johnny Dang, absolutely. If you can get both Marvin Jones and Brandon Cooks, that's great. I would lean Brandon Cooks over Marvin Jones to start. I love T. Higgins. Him and Jefferson, my favorite pickups behind Jay. Oh, for sure. Both of those are great, undrafted people that are, in everyone's almost like, every week start lineup. So great pickups. What are your thoughts on Byron Joseph without Galladay? I drafted him 90th and dropped him. I think he's gonna be a solid like wide receiver too while Galladay's out. I see his stats as being like, I feel like a lot of Detroit wide receivers, their stats are always like 3-4 catches for like 116 yards and a touchdown. So I do like Marvin Jones as a solid wide receiver too, for sure. Oh man, Timothy, so you're on East Coast, right? Yeah, unfortunately I'm on West Coast and I still work, but that's good feedback. If you hey, listen man, if you commit to coming to my streams a lot, I will actually try and accommodate you guys a little bit more and start earlier. Yeah, maybe next time we'll try and start like at least Tuesday nights. I think I've gotten a lot of traction super late at night because everyone's up super late trying to figure out last minute waiver wire stuff. But I would be more than happy to start earlier. My Thursday streams, Timothy, are going to be earlier, so they should start around like 7:30 your time. So that'd be good. But that's actually a good comment, and I will actually try and start streaming a little bit earlier for all of you East Coast points for sure. Timothy, what kind of school are you in right now? Jason, Hawkinson or Trey Burton? Hawkinson for the floor, but Trey Burton for the ceiling is my opinion. All right, so Giggles, we're going back to your previous question. Should I start looking to starting DJ Chark? So you have Deontay Johnson, Lockett, Hill. Right now I have Lazard, Kirk, and Antonio Brown on the bench. Okay. Actually, I don't know if I love Chark this week. I would maybe go Lockett, Hill. Do the Cardinals have a bye this? I never looked at a Cardinals schedule. Do they have a bye this week? If not, I would maybe start. Yeah, I would maybe start Kirk or who's your other guy, or even AB. Oh, for sure, Phil. I love him. So work as in you trying to stream and make fantasy fun. Oh no, Davis. I don't think earlier grade. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I will do that. I'll probably honestly mix it up so that I'll start early some days during the week for the East Coast people and do later ones for like the West Coast, because I know actually a lot of people aren't able to get on until like super late after their shifts. So a lot of people told me they prefer like honestly like after 10 or 11 West Coast, but I'll mix it up so we are able to accommodate both all sides of the country. Senior high school. Tim, for sure, nice. Tim, what colleges are you looking at? That's kind of a big year, right? Hopefully colleges you can go actually go next year, but what kind of colleges are you looking at? Johnny, what 3 wide receiver strikes are? DK, Thomas, Cooks, Jones, and Mike Williams. I go DK, Cooks, and Jones. Jeffrey, what's up, man? Welcome. How do you feel about Indy defense this week against Baltimore? I think that's definitely a little gutsy of a play, but I don't like they've been able to prove that they can do well all year long. Granted, they have played some bad teams. I kind of say just start them, especially like if you pick up another defense and puts you like you want to keep Indy, but you have to like start worrying about, okay, well I have to drop this guy that I've been stashing or a good backup. Like if you don't have that extra spot for an extra defense, just stay with Indy, honestly. Davis, I usually go by Daniel, but call me whatever you want. Honestly, I think different groups of people call me, Daniel or Dan, but Daniel's fine, whatever you want. Johnson plays the Cowboys. Yeah, he does. I just, I don't think it's a bad start, but I just feel like it's kind of a lottery. It's like a roulette of who gets the targets and who gets the receptions. Would you still put Fuller over Cooks since Fuller showed the Texans he wanted to be traded? Yeah, I think Fuller's their number 1 guy. I mean, Cooks actually gets more receptions, but I still think Fuller is their number 1 guy. That makes sense. I try to catch it. Oh, for sure, Davis. And, I always see on Reddit, so, welcome. I still need to get back to a few Reddit comments later, but honestly, I think, the shift is definitely going a little bit towards, from what I've seen, more towards YouTube people, because I guarantee you, most people here are probably, YouTube, like they came here from YouTube and they're probably primarily focused on YouTube over Reddit. So it's I've noticed that it's 2 different platforms. I'm happy to be on both, but definitely more YouTube people here for sure. Kyler Murray's perfect. Yeah, for sure. Boston College is my nice. Villa Northeastern, nice. That's awesome, dude. Good luck. That's awesome. What do you think you're gonna go? What do you think you're gonna study? Yeah, I'm in Cali. How many points do you think AB will get? Brady gonna target him with Evans and Godwin? Yeah, I think I'm guessing in PPR somewhere between 7 and 12 points, unless he gets that extra touchdown. But I think he's probably good for at least 7. Are you gonna do some drafting advice for Dexter too? It's my only issue, and I feel like this year went better. For sure. To draft takes, okay, yep, for sure. And there's a lot of stuff that I have planned for off season, and I want to keep the channel and community alive and very active. So I have a lot of plans, that's in the works right now for off season, but 100%. We were also actually talking about doing some leagues next year for follower subscribers, and if anyone's actually interested here, I think we're gonna do an NFL playoff challenge with all subscribers right when the playoffs start. So if you're interested, just let me know. I'll probably make a final list as we get closer to it, but I think that would be really fun to do a little community NFL playoff fantasy challenge. UCLA has been a dream school. Yeah, I know it's okay. Finance, that's good for you. I mean, try for it. You never know what happens. I know, it's tougher to get in from out of state, and it's obviously a lot more expensive. But UCLA is a great school, and you would have a lot of fun in Cali for sure. Jason, I have Hawkinson already. Should I pick up Fant or read out? I don't really think you need either. I don't really think you need to stash double tight ends if you don't need. I would probably choose Reed for his high side. Mac Bain, welcome. What good work. Playing Edmonds, should I play JT, Monty, or Bell? And playing Thielen with Deontay Johnson, Ayuk. So I like Ayuk, and if you're talking about John Brown, I would say Thielen, Deontay. I would go Thielen, Ayuk, and then Deontay Johnson for running backs. I would say probably Monty or JT. Monty a little bit higher over JT this week because I'm not sure the extent of his injury. Sam, I'm not picking up any offensive players this week. Who should I start at flex? Gibson, Edmonds, Corey Davis, DJ, Dallas, Gronk. So out of those, I actually, who did the Titans play again? Did they play? They play the Bears. Okay. So if DJ and Seahawks, who the Seahawks play? Bills. Okay. So if DJ is for sure gonna be the starter with if what's his face? Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson out, I would probably go DJ, Corey Davis, Edmonds, Gibson, Gronk. Corey Davis, DJ, Dallas, sort of interchangeable. I like both a lot. I like both a lot. I don't know if I'm going to do Davis. I don't know if I'm going to do fantasy basketball. I actually asked about it last night, and it seemed like the majority of the viewers don't actually care about it or don't play, so it'll be tough. Giggles. So I think we're gonna make an Instagram as the goal right now. So we set a goal last night to get to 500 subs. So once we hit 500 subs, we're gonna we'll do Instagram, and we'll make it a little bit more. Just because right now, if I made an Instagram, we literally have I feel like all the questions are very answerable, and like it's easy to do on YouTube. And it's a lot easier for me to be able to answer questions with like my information in my video up. So like anyone who's like asking questions about waiver wires on the waiver wire video or starts and sit questions on those, it's a lot easier for me to reference my material. So Instagram, Discord, all that good stuff to come once we hit a certain subscriber goal. So yeah, we get more people in, and we'll have more platforms out for communication. But I think right now just keeping everything on YouTube is a little bit easier, so I don't have to sort of flip-flop between different platforms. Hey man, I think you think I'm way better than I actually am, so no, I don't think so. But yeah, I think that'll be really fun next year. Let's get down some likes. Hey, yeah, whatever you guys can do, that's awesome. It was kind of a wild week, because I think we last week when we did this Tuesday stream, we got a bunch of people from the fantasy flock to come in, because someone just went in and just pulled a lot of subscribers. That was great. Then we got this big subscriber Andrew last week or yesterday. So probably hit our peak as a channel, but we'll see. Hawkinson has had his bye. You're good. Hawkinson is pretty underrated. Oh, for sure. I agree. Mac Bain for sure. Tim, no, I am not. I work. Nice. For sure. I mean, I'll think about it for sure, Davis. Which one do you like better between fantasy basketball and football? I played basketball once, and it's just, honestly, it's so tough to keep up with. I just kind of messed around and won. And actually, that reminds me, I actually asked one of my fantasy football league mates, because he owes me a t-shirt from my winnings. So I'll have to bug him for that a little bit. But yeah, what are your thoughts on fantasy basketball versus fantasy football? I'm kind of curious here. And if anyone else has played either, I guess, fantasy basketball or fantasy baseball in the chat, let me know. Fantasy baseball, I can't even imagine like how much effort you have to put into it, because that just seems like that seems tough. Basketball's already had enough, and I don't know if I could deal with all the numbers of the stats and like just the number of people in games you actually have to keep track of baseball. Honestly, maybe it's easier with a shorter season, but that's gotta be tough, you know? I don't know if we can handle that. But anyways, as things are slowing down here, I'm gonna look up the NFL trade list. And like I said, they have to have it on the on NFL.com, right? Like, there's no way they don't have a full list of all the transactions that happened. They have an article about the biggest winners and losers. Yeah, Tim, have you ever been to Cali before? Fantasy football seems more fair and it makes sense. Yep. Oh, for sure. You prefer baseball, but basketball gives you something to do. Oh, for sure. And that's the thing I found out too, is I felt like in basketball you had opportunities, like if you like tried super hard and focused more than people, you had opportunities to actually play more players per week than your opponent to get more scores. Let me know if I'm wrong about that, but that's the one thing I didn't love about basketball, was that like sure, if like you have a league of super competitive players, that's fine to do, but that seemed kind of tough to keep up with, and like a slight disadvantage for anyone who didn't want to commit, many hours a week to fantasy football. Weekly eye on locks this year. No, yep. Nice. Tim, which part of Cali did you go to? All I know is Desmond King went to yep, Quan went to Saints. Fantasy have more breakout players too, yet the games for weeks are a huge factor. How was it this year, I guess, with the because I'm assuming it doesn't go into playoffs, right? So how was it with the shorter season? So come on, where's the final list of all the trades? I'm gonna just go on the sub. I feel like the subreddit sometimes just has way more information accessible. Trade. NFL. I don't know why I can't find a list. It got canceled. Oh jeez. Okay. One more question. I need an RB for this week for my waiver. I Naeem Hines and McKissick. Would you say Naeem has a ceiling? So who did Washington play this week? Football team schedule. So they play the Giants this week. I actually think because they have an easier matchup, McKissick actually might have a lower floor because I only see him being useful against like a little bit harder playing teams, like harder opponents, sorry. Because what's going to happen is if they're playing from behind, they're going to use McKissick a lot more in order to, like, you know, do check downs and just, you know, short dink passes to the running backs to get out. I think they're going to be able to keep it competitive with the Giants, which means more involvement with for Gibson, honestly. That's tough. Do you have anyone else that you can pick up potentially, Jeffrey? Jeff, let me know if you prefer that. LA, nice. Tim, what did you do in LA? That's where I live. I like you do. Yep, exactly. All the different categories. It's not whoever scored the most, get the most blocks. You got to strategize more, emphasize more in categories. Yeah, for sure. That's exact. That was my my experience with it, and it seems like it's not very beginner friendly, honestly. So that's tough. Jeffrey, going back to your question, I wonder, like, do you have like someone like a Zach Moss potentially available? Jermichael Hasty, maybe. Damian Harris, even. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, fantasy. I don't know if I want to touch fantasy baseball. Honestly, that seems rough. But yeah, or even like a Wayne Gallman. DJ Dallas is probably picked up, but he might still be available. Like, are any of those guys available for you, Jeffrey, at all? Because that would actually not be bad pickups. Matt Breida guys. Not okay. Matt Breida might be worth a pickup because, you know, we don't really know what's gonna happen. I think, like all signs point to the fact that he's gonna be the lead back, so he might be an okay pickup here. It's tough, right? Because you don't have a good grasp of like how that running committee is gonna be like. But Breida may be your best ceiling. It's tough. If you have Gallman, I would pick him up and start him if as long as Freeman's not back this week. I like Gallman a lot this week. Universal Studios, nice. Visit around, find a lot of places to eat. Yeah, I know, right, Tim? The food here is so bomb. Mexican food, Asian food, it's so good. Weather's always good. So yeah, LA is fun, man. Hey, I mean, if you make it out here, let me know. You know, I think, you know, if you did go to UCLA, you'd have a fun time. So, you know, obviously evaluate what schools have the best program for finance, but also, you know, you need to take into factor that being in a big city helps you, especially, you know, if you want to get into a field where being in a major city like LA, New York, Boston, something like that is gonna, you know, help you gain experience and just gain, you know, establish a bigger network for sure. But anyways, Jeffrey, I would definitely go that. I haven't. I just moved here a couple years ago, but loving it so far. Can't beat the weather. You know, there's some fires and the air quality can be a little questionable sometimes, but otherwise, you know, can't go wrong with just getting a lot of food and hanging out at the beach. You know, that's the California life. It's good. And I think we actually normally have a couple of California boys in here too. Nice. Yeah, good luck with that. Hopefully, you know, applications and all that stuff isn't too rough for you this year. But this is an out-of-state tuition. Yeah, I heard it can be bad. I mean, colleges are just expensive, right? That's just kind of tough. But you know, maybe you could get some scholarships or something like that, some grants. Say you're a fantasy football pro. Maybe they'll throw some money your way. You can help the dean with his lineup every week. Bring him to my stream. Alright, so anyways, I'm still kind of tilted that I can't find a freaking final list of all the trades from this week. Like, why is that so hard? Am I just like, do I not know how to Google? Like, what's going on here? Let's see. Alright, we're gonna Google NFL trade list. And we're gonna look at the first thing that comes up, NFL, okay, so the one guy that seems a little interesting is the fact that Miami got DeAndre Washington. That was I think that's someone to keep an eye out. Tim, I'm originally from Cleveland, from the Midwest. So, you know, big LeBron fan here. Desmond King is gonna not do us much. Quan Alexander not. Pittsburgh's defense is gonna get a little bit of a boost with Avery Williamson. See, a lot of these don't matter, right? Seattle got Carlos Dunlap, which is great. Detroit got Everson Griffin, which, like, fine. Like, Baltimore defense is not someone you need to concern about because they're not like on your waivers. They got Nick Ngakwe, right? So that's gonna be a little bit of a boost. But I don't know if he's Young Guapo. What's up? Can't say Adam. Yeah, I feel like you're either a LeBron fan or you're not. So I don't blame you. But I am a big LeBron fan for sure. I know, right? Hey, yo, listen, the East still runs through the Cavs until someone beats us in the actual playoffs, which, you know, if you don't get to the playoffs, you can't get beat in the playoffs, right? Yeah, so anyways, it looks like a lot. I mean, just looking at this, yeah, most of these are defensive players. I'm surprised. I'm kind of curious why not a lot of trades happened. I feel like usually every year we have a couple of bombs, but yeah, that's tough. Yep, and he should be used. I mean, Deion Lewis is going to get used a lot in the passing game, but Wayne Gallman should be their lead back again, as long as Freeman is not, Freeman's not in there. So I think if you needed to start out of those people that you talked about, Wayne Gallman is definitely a solid play without a doubt. So I would go with him and just plug him in. You're not going to be able to use him for long because Freeman's probably going to be coming back soon. So yeah, I like him a lot. Anyone looking forward to any like big games this weekend? I still need to make my start and sit schedule for this week. But honestly, I was trying to pick out defenses, and it's tough. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of lopsided games, so it's gonna be a little bit tough to pick out. And sorry for the barking in the background. The dogs are a little crazy. One team I actually want to talk about a little bit is the Dolphins defense. For any of you that watched my video, I talked about them as a potential pickup. Definitely stash, but maybe a play this week, honestly, you know? I think they're the #1 scoring defense in the NFL. They've allowed the least amount of points to, as a whole. And Kyler Murray, he is a little bit turnover prone. So, if anyone's looking for a sneaky play, like, it's obviously a very risky play because of the Cardinals, but I think if you're really thin at defense, the Dolphins might not be a bad look. I think we're gonna have some blowout games. Steelers against the Cowboys, and man, what if the Cowboys somehow, because what's his face, DiNucci got benched, right? So what if the Cowboys actually upset the Steelers, right? That would be kind of wild. Tim, no, I went to school in Chicago. I've been pretty much in the Midwest all my life, and then moved out here for work. The Bears defense, do you think I should try and get a different team? Bears defense is probably going to be a little tough against the Titans this week. I don't know if I would start them. I think the Titans are going to bounce back this week and probably put up 30 plus points. So I think it's a little bit iffy of a play this week for sure. So I don't know that I have full confidence in the in the Bears this week. Let me see where I have him ranked though, because I do have my ranking list. Yeah, I have them sort of middle of the pack, around like the 12 to 15 mark. It's obviously a good defense, but they're playing against a very solid offense, so I don't know that I would play the Bears. Cardinals are like looking at my list. I think Texans is a really good play this week. If anyone, I think the Texans should be on the waivers for a lot of people, right? So Texans should be a great play due to the fact that they're playing the Jags, and then Chua's out, and they're playing, Jake Luton? So I mentioned them as a good play this week. Washington is a great pickup this week against the Giants. The Giants could also be a pretty good play against Washington, but I think I like Washington a little bit more. Cardinals I talked about. Titans could be okay because I don't like the Bears defense. I don't like the Bears offense that much. So I think the Titans could be actually okay. So yeah, out of those teams I talked about, there should be at least a couple that's available on most people's waiver wires right now. So if it's there, I would maybe look to that. And Tim, like I said, I would probably go. Redskins over the Bears this week. It's hard to sit a good defense like that, right? But you got to play the matchups, and if it's not there, it's tough. They gave up in overtime? I think they gave up 26 to the Saints last week, which honestly they did pretty well, especially in the regulation. But I do like the Titans offense a little bit more than the Saints at the moment. Dolphins, Giants, and Texans. Okay, if you have those, Tim, definitely go Texans. Texans, I think, is going to be a great play. Worst case scenario, Jake Luton surprises the league, is the next Patrick Mahomes for some reason, throws like 7 touchdowns, but I would, if I was a betting man, I would bet against that. He's a rookie quarterback, 6th round pick. Honestly, probably means a lot of turnovers. So I have the Texans rated in my top 5 defenses to play this week for sure. So I like that a lot. Trying to think, again, it was a really uneventful Tuesday, so I'm trying to see sort of like what else happened. So one of the things I was thinking about was who would have benefited from the trade and who would have been hurt. The one, big shocker, I know this was getting a lot of traction, but the fact that Will Fuller didn't get traded to the Packers, I think a lot of people, sigh of relief. That's great. It would have been nice if someone like an Adrian Peterson got traded for all you DeAndre Swift owners. But yeah, not a lot happened. It's rough. Davis, I lost this week because I dropped Koo due to the weather. What's your option on Koo the rest of the season? Yeah, I think it can be. Koo, Blankenship, and Tucker, I think, are all set and forgets. Sam, how's my starting look up? QB Cam Newton, RB's Derrick Henry, Hasty, Mike Evans, and Juju. Okay. Flex Damian, defense Colts, kicker Yahoo. Yeah, that's what you have to work with. I think that's fine. I think Cam has a good matchup, right? I'm not high on Cam, but he has a good matchup, so I think that might be okay. Running backs are probably fine. Wide receivers, I'm a little bit concerned about Mike Evans because AB is coming in. I think it's solid. I don't love it, but if you have a lot of players on bye, I think it's okay. I go over that, and honestly, I would maybe consider potentially putting Evans in over Damian, but I think Damian Harris is fine. You're benching Evans? I think that's fine. You have, what I'll say is you have the right to do it after what we've seen for him, right? So I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I'm definitely a little bit worried with Antonio Brown sort of getting into the mix and seeing what he does to Evans' value, but I honestly, Sam, Evans might be a good sell high candidate at this moment. He played well this week. You're gonna have Godwin and AB there, and the targets may not be there for him anymore. He might very well be sort of a boom or bust kind of guy. So no one bites. That's rough. Yeah, talk around. This is probably your best time to sell high, but that's tough. Are there any 1 week wonders worth picking up for flex this week outside of the obvious ones like DJ Dallas? Yeah, so keeping an eye out for what's happening in Green Bay. You know, that Dexter guy, Williams, could be good. Matt Breida wouldn't be a 1 week wonder, but he could be good as well. What's his face? Not Kevin. I said his name wrong in my video. Kendrick Bourne, I think could be a solid flex for the 49ers this week because Debo is still out and they play on Thursday. So I think he could actually be a pretty solid flex. Who else? Let's see. Those are the ones that come on the top of my head. You know, it's honestly, I mean, again, the whole DeAndre Washington conundrum is a little bit interesting. So I would, you know, take a look at that maybe. Otherwise, yeah, I think those are the guys I would think. Honestly, yeah, maybe. Keep an eye out. Dexter Williams might be a sneaky good play as a RB2 flex this week. I really like, you know, the Packers along with someone like this, like Seattle, is there are teams where I like it, like that. You know, if I went and played running back for them, I had to fill in, I would probably pick myself up. I think, you know, their offense schemes well enough to get their running backs involved in both the passing and running game. So yeah, take a look at Dexter Williams. Do you think RB, you know, Ginger getting any touches in Arizona? I actually have him as a deep stash from a video a few weeks ago. He might, but I don't think a lot. I think he's a good stash in case Edmonds goes down and Drake is not ready. That's all. I think this is a very deep stash right now. Rest of the season, Brandon Cooks are that's a tough one. I like Corey Davis a little bit more. Honestly, they're both. Do I like Corey Davis a little bit more? Because we were talking about Brandon Cooks last night, and he actually has a pretty decent like number of targets and receptions. I still say Corey Davis because I feel like Brandon Cooks never lasts a full season, so I guess I would go Corey Davis, but they're both really high up there for me. If I'm unable to get Reed as a fill-in for Kittle, who do you like the rest of the season between Schultz, Thomas, and Hooper? If Hoover's back, I don't think he's a bad pickup. Otherwise, I would probably I like Hooper for the upside and the offense that he's in, honestly. So if he is available and he's playing, then I would do that. What do you think about playing Marvin Jones Jr.? Yeah, so Guapo, I think he's a good play. We were talking about him earlier. You know, I expect him to produce, especially with Kenny G out, and I expect a stat line somewhere around like maybe 4 receptions, 100 like 13, 114 yards and a touchdown. So I think Marvin Jones is a solid play. Guy in my league offered me JT and Graham for Hawkinson and Fournette. That's a tough one because honestly right now, Tim, I would do it if he could throw in another person because technically right now, JT and Graham are both valued a little bit under Hawkinson and Fournette. So I would try and squeeze something else out of the guy. I'm still not giving up on JT is what I'll say. I might be a little bit biased, but I would try and squeeze in maybe another play out of him. What about Justin Jefferson? He's going to be a solid wide receiver for this season. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up sort of like wide receiver 1 status. Great wide receiver, playing on a team that's probably going to be playing from behind a lot. Obviously, Dalvin Cook being back hurts him a little bit, but honestly, that might help him take the defense's focus off of him as much and stack the box a little bit more. So I'm very high on Justin Jefferson for sure. For sure. So here, let's do the math, Davis, and just to make you feel good. So Kittle's out 8 weeks, right? And so 8 weeks from now, so right now we're going to, so that includes this week, right? So if you're in standard fantasy schedule, what does that mean, right? So that means if we're right now in week 9, okay? And if we're in week 9, let's see. If we're in week 9, that means we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 weeks left. of regular season, okay? Plus 3 rounds of playoffs. So more than likely, like, again, there was some stuff where he said, I think I'll be back in 2 weeks, but I don't think he will. Especially if the 49ers are not in contention, like, they're not gonna get into playoffs this year, right? Unless Nick Mullins absolutely tears it up. They don't have a reason to play him. So your best chance right now, according to what we've heard, is that he's gonna be back at the very, very earliest, your championship game, right? So you're wasting a roster spot for someone that could, be a good stash for the playoffs, someone that can blow up, or someone that you might need if your players get injured, for a chance to potentially play him in the championships when you don't know if you're actually going to get into the championships. So, hey, if you feel confident where you're like, hey, I know he's going to come back in 8 weeks, and, he's going to come back in 8 weeks, and I'm going to start him because I know I'm going to make it in the championship, sure, but in reality, what are the chances that, like, everything works out, that he comes back for every 1 championship weeks and actually is that difference maker for you to win the championship, right? Very, very small chance. It's still a chance, but it's definitely a sort of a wasted roster spot, in my opinion. I would rather, use that spot on someone to help me build a little bit of depth to be able to actually get into the playoffs and into the championships than just sit on him where he might get shut down for the rest of the season. Would you drop Mark Ingram? I think he's still an okay stash. Let's see what that backfield looks like when he's back. It should still be his backfield, but his tweet from yesterday didn't sound very good. I'm not super high on him right now. He did get traded, right? So that's good. So I would stash and just hold on to him until he's back and just see what happens. Titter, what's up? I just traded Zeke for Monty. Okay, that's not bad. I'm not huge on Monty, but he's on a better offense and he's getting the volume, so it's not a bad trade. I have Madison. I'm thinking about dropping Ingram to clear space. Yeah, Madison's gonna get handcuffed. Do you have Dalvin though, Guapo, or are you just picking him up as like a normal guy? How many leagues do you do each year, by the way? I only done 1 last year and 1 this year. Definitely want to do more next year, but yeah, for sure. I'm in 4 right now. 1 or 2 are money leagues, and the 2 other are like semi-competitive, casual. So yeah, I think honestly, maybe try 3 or 4. It's definitely hard to keep up after a while, but it's fun. I diversify my players this year just to see what I can do. Let's see. What's a good underrated defense to have? So Jason, I like for this week. I like the Texans a lot. I think the Dolphins are a good stash for the rest of the season because they've been very, very under the radar, and their defense has been playing very much lights out. So I do like the Dolphins as a secret stash. Whew. I don't have Dalvin, but I can see him get injured, especially in groin area. Oh, for sure. I mean, you could. That's always. Honestly, yeah, I think that's a good point. But honestly, I would maybe keep Mark Ingram at the moment because at least that he, is most likely going to be used when he gets back. Madison is pretty useless when Dalvin's there because he gets everything. And he could score you maybe a garbage touchdown like 1 out of 6 weeks. But I think. If everyone's healthy and there's no injuries, Mark Ingram is probably the person to have over Madison. Higher upside and just more usage overall. So I probably would hold on to Mark Ingram and just see how the Ravens use him versus, Gus Bus and J.K. Dobbins, and then go from there. But you want to stash of guys who are going to give you the highest upside and potential, be able to just plug in them in if you need to, like on any week. And I wouldn't consider that for Madison unless Dalvin could guide out. But on the other hand, if you needed a running back that you needed to play in your flex, everyone would feel a lot more comfortable with Mark Ingram over Madison. Assuming Dalvin Cook is healthy for sure. For sure. Otherwise, Jason, it's actually interesting you bring that up. I do plan on doing a video in the next couple of weeks about defenses that we want to aim and target over sort of like the end of the regular season into the playoffs. I think that would probably be pretty helpful for people, hopefully, and that'll give you a chance to sort of like stash a few defenses and sort of just be ready for it, so you're not scrambling once we all make the playoffs. So yeah. So Jeffrey, you got Burton and Graham at tight end. Wide receiver, I got Hopkins, McLaurin, Corey Davis, Galladay, Rieger, Lazard, and Sanders. Start 2 plus flex. Would you drop Rieger or Graham to pick up? If you have Burton, I would probably just drop Jimmy Graham. You don't need the 2 tight ends, and I like Burton a lot more than Graham at the moment. So yeah, I think I was telling someone earlier that Gallman is going to be a great add and great play this week. So I would pick him up and use him until, you know, until Devontae Freeman's back. But he's definitely a good play and definitely a good filler at the flex position this week, I think. And who do they play? Right? They have they play the Washington football team, and it's not a defense that you would write home about. So I think, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Gallman got like at least like 1 TD plus maybe like 60-70 yards, right? We were talking about this earlier. Dion Lewis is definitely going to get some touches and be used as a passing back for sure, right? But Wayne Gallman is still their lead back for now. And yeah, I like it. Let's look at their stats from last week and how he did. Let's see, Giants against Bucks. And, you know, remember the Bucks have a really good defense, right? And they made it a close game. Looks like Gallman rushed 12 times, 44 yards for a TD. 3.7 average yards per carry, so that's not bad at all. Gallman over Dexter Williams. That's a tough one, right? I would maybe monitor the status and see what other running backs they have, but if Dexter Williams is literally like the only running back that's going to start, I would maybe go Williams, assuming that he takes 90% of the RB snaps, right? Gallman might take, I don't know, like 60%. So volume-wise, if we think Williams is going to be used as a primary back like Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams has been, I would probably lean Williams a little bit. Jason, should I start the Texans this week and next week? And are they a good defense overall? They're an okay defense. I don't think they're great, but they have a really good matchup this week for sure. Let's see, Texans schedule. I would start them this week. I have them in my top 5. I don't know that I would start them against the Browns, especially if Chubb gets back. So they're more of a 1-week rental for sure. Sam, I have Murray and Burrow. Is it worth hanging on to a backup quarterback when Murray? I think so. I like it. This is the year that I deployed the 2 QB strategy, and it's worked for me because I've lost a lot of guys. I lost Dak. I think I lost someone else in a different league, but yeah, I believe I lost my starting quarterback in 2 leagues, I want to say, and it wasn't good. So I mean, you know, you scramble if you don't have a solid quarterback. I think Burrow is a great backup quarterback, so I don't think it's a bad insurance card to have, just, you know, in case Kyler gets injured. And you never know, right? Kyler, he runs the ball a lot. He likes to go down. He likes to, you know, become a runner. So, not saying that he's injury prone or anything, but that definitely increases his chance of getting injured for sure. Pick 3 for the week: Edmonds, Zeke, CEH, Dobbins, Gibson, and Swift. That's a tough one. I will go, if I had to choose, let me look at my rankings for this week actually, and I'll be able to give you at least a more thought out. So out of those right now, before I even look at my list, I don't love Dobbins' matchup. Okay. Let's see. So we have Gibson, Swift, Clyde, Zeke, and Edmonds. So I would probably go. I kind of like Clyde, Edmonds, and Zeke here. I might put Gibson in for Zeke because they're playing the Steelers. So I'd probably go like Clyde, Edmonds, and then either Gibson or Zeke. Maybe actually Gibson instead of Zeke. Well, I think Mixon plays after their bye. Yes, I think they held him out because of the bye, and I think Gio's still worth a stash because he still has some value as their backup running back because they use him in the passing game a lot. And you know, he's like we've seen, he's a top tier handcuff in case Mixon gets injured again. Jason, I already have the Chiefs defense against the Panthers. Should I pick up the Texans or Washington or keep the Chiefs? Chiefs are fine. You know, I think they're going to be okay, but look to see if CMC comes back because I think that's going to be a big factor as to whether or not you want to play the Chiefs. Because if you know, they have a good matchup right now for sure, right? But you know, well, look out for CMC. If CMC comes back, I would maybe go for Washington or Texans, is what I'll say. Pick up 2 going forward, Kupp, Fulgham, or Woods. I would probably say, ooh, that's a really good one. I kind of like Kupp and Fulgham. Kupp had a ridiculous like 21 targets last week. Obviously, we're not gonna get that every week, but I kind of like Kupp for the volume and Fulgham for the volume. Yep, for sure, Jeffrey. I agree with that. How would you rank Washington, New York Giants, and Texans this week, and Dolphins? Yeah. So out of those 4, I would say Washington, Texans, Giants, and Dolphins. Sam, Dallas, Gibson, or Corey Davis over CEH? If you had to pick one, that's tough. I really like Corey Davis. It's always hard to like kind of like, you know, it's always tough to sort of like compare like cross positions, right? And that's where you know, the analysis gets a little wonky because all of the analysis that I do is sort of like, you know, within the position. I would probably say, so I like Gibson a little bit better than Dallas, right, as of right now. I'd probably lean, if you had to choose one and you don't want to start Clyde, I would go Gibson, Corey Davis, and Dallas is what I think. Milo, yeah, thanks for coming by, man. I'll see you soon. James, pick one off the waiver wires. Moss, Akers, Wilkins, Corey Davis, or keep? I would go Corey Davis, Moss, and then wait for waivers to clear to see if Akers is still there. I'm not a huge fan of Jordan Wilkins' pickup. I don't think he's gonna, like, if he produces again, he might have one good game this year, but he is not the featured back. There's a reason why the Colts always have him as a third back. There's a reason why the Colts have drafted another back. You know, they had 4 backs. You know, when Marlon Mack was healthy this year, they had 4 backs, right? They had Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines, they drafted JT. There's a reason for that. They went with a hot hand this week. JT had a minor ankle injury, so, you know, don't look too much into it. Just, you know, I think Corey Davis is absolutely worth a pickup. Yeah, so Corey Davis, Moss, clear, see if waivers clear to get Akers. That's what I would recommend for sure. But yeah, hopefully everyone, you know, that's good information for y'all to, you know, start thinking about. And you know, the waiver wire this week definitely feels very, very weak. You know, I think a lot of the guys I talked about, like, hey, go pick these guys up, they're gone already. But there's still a few sleepers and some guys that's worth a stash. There always will be, right? Even though it was rough this week. You know, that's the point of these, right? We look at the waiver wires and see what we can do, and go from there. For sure, yeah. I've been doing this for, I think I started maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. So yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, had our ups and downs for sure. How long have you been playing, Jeff? Do you think Moss can blow up a little bit more res? Oh, for sure. I with just the eye test, Davis, I actually like him a little bit more than Singletary. It's always going to be tough because you have Josh Allen as a quarterback there, but I actually think he's the goal line back to have, and they really split carries. He's the one that got the 2 TDs. He's the one that got the goal line touches. So I do like Moss as a good running back for the rest of the season. I definitely want to temper our expectations for his ceiling because really, that's probably like the 2 TDs that he had and with that performance. That's probably going to be one of his best games this year. I can see him replicating it, but I think he could be a good I think he could definitely be like a solid wide receiver 2 with upside for the rest of the season. I think he's been slowly taking over. He's still gonna split a lot of the carries with Singletary. Unfortunately, like if Singletary was out or injured, he'd absolutely be like like a high tier wide receiver, or sorry, running back 2 or like a low tier 1. But honestly, Devin Singletary is going to be what kind of hurts him a lot. What do you think of Deontay Johnson? I think the matchup is there, right? I think he's an okay start, but if you have better starts, I would do that because as we saw last week, I mean, unless I missed something, he only got 1 catch. And I'm kind of worried that, if we have all of the wide receivers healthy, Juju, Washington, Johnson, Claypool, I'm a little bit worried that we're going to have to start playing wide receiver roulette with who gets it, right? Obviously, all very good wide receivers, and I think it's just going to go with the flow of the game. So it's tough to say, but those wide receivers might start becoming sort of boom or bust. Because I don't know that there's one wide receiver on that team that we can confidently say this is his go-to, this is his favorite target, and he's guaranteed 8 targets a week. So that's gonna be definitely that's gonna be our biggest issue this year for sure. With the wide receivers there. Kirk against Dolphins, I like the matchup. I would go with him for sure. What are your thoughts about Jermichael Hasty, and what do you think Coleman or MV40? Yeah, I like him short term right now. I think Mostert is probably going to be coming back in 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. But it looks like Hasty is probably the guy to go to right now. I still don't like the 49ers running backs, honestly. 29 yards is not what you want to see on the end of the day results. So I don't love it. But I think he's an okay start this week for sure. If you're gonna drop in my league, how hard should I go after him? Might need him as an emerging flex. I like him. I didn't love him before because his target share wasn't there, but his target share has actually been sort of up and down, and I think it's trending towards more. So obviously, he's not the number 1 option there, but I do actually like him. He gets a lot of looks in the red zone. So if you need that wide receiver or want that depth, I don't think he's a bad play. Just be ready that there could be weeks where he gives you 1 reception for 19 yards. I think the chances of that is going to happen. It's less likely to happen because it looks like Kyler really likes him in the end zone. But it'll be curious to see how much Chase Edmonds is actually used in the red zone versus someone like a Christian Kirk. But I know last game, I was watching it and he almost had a 3rd TD. So he kind of seems like a TD machine, honestly. Yeah, just drop them all, right? 6-7 years too, since 2014, mainly got into a bond with coworkers, but when I work corporate, but now it's for sure. Yeah, my longest league is with a few college friends, so it's a great way to keep in touch because otherwise, I probably wouldn't be talking to half of them as much as I'm talking now. Yeah, Burke, we had another 49ers fan in here earlier. I think you missed it. Greenlaw. Mostert is dropping my league. Should I pick him up? I already have Robinson, Connor, Edmonds, and Eckler. Yes, Jason. I think if you have the space for him, pick him up because once you make it to the playoffs, assuming he's on, he's in line to return based off of his current status. I think he's gonna be a monster. Hopefully going to the playoffs and for the playoffs. So 100% you should pick him up if you have the spot. I wouldn't drop any of your current running backs for it, so maybe you have a second tight end or a wide receiver that you don't really need. But I 100% would. I 100% would do that. Yeah, I agree with that, Luke. That's not just the 49ers and you saying that, is it? Yeah, no, that's very fair. James, I have Zeke. Oh, sorry, Mr. Stuff. Would you trade Zeke for Mostert and Eckler? I have Zeke, CH Gibson, Dobbins, Edmonds. I kind of like that. I would do that. You know, keeping an eye out for their injury. But if Eckler comes back in like the next week or two, and Mostert comes back in like the next 3 weeks or less, you've got two, honestly, probably better running backs for the rest of the season just based off of how their teams are. So I think I would do that, because if you traded away Zeke right now, who would you have? You have Clyde, you have Gibson, you have Dobbins, Edmonds, Swift. So you can hold yourself over, assuming your like record's okay right now. So I think you can definitely hold yourself over and be okay for a little bit. So I like that. I actually like that a lot, man. I like that a lot for you. Yeah, wait. Oh, exactly. That's my thought too. Between Clyde, Gibson, Dobbins, and Swift. Yep. I would make that trade if I were you, James. Because honestly, I don't know that you would really start Zeke over, you know, the other guys at the moment. You know, Zeke is still going to get the volume, but they just got yet another QB change, so not great. But you know, it is what it is. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I don't think the QB change is going to be big. I think it's going to be very similar to when DiNucci was there. But it will definitely be really interesting to see sort of like how the offensive players might perform differently with one of these two new guys at the helm. Because who is it? It's like two guys I never heard of. I'm surprised they benched DiNucci. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. But what is it? It's so Dalton's out. Dalton's going to be out for at least 3 weeks. DiNucci. Yeah, so who is it? I know it's two guys. Honestly, I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's two random guys that probably won't make a huge difference. So, yep, I agree with that. I definitely think if you can, I agree with that. Probably get rid of Zeke. It's honestly more so like a headache to own him and have to worry about that like horrible Dallas Cowboys team. Worst defense in the league, probably now the worst offense in the league. So, you know, tank for Trevor and give us Dak Prescott next year. Dak on the Colts is my dream scenario. So we'll see if we can speak it into existence. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, Nucci gang is benched officially. They picked up another guy, I think, and they're trying to figure out who they want to go with now. But yeah, Nucci gang, you know, RIP the Nucci gang. Week 8 to week 8. So you don't think he cares? I mean, he might, right? I don't want to count anybody out, especially if I haven't seen him play. But I guess what I'll say is I don't have high expectations for him. I have Kelsey and Fat. Thinking about trading Kelsey if I can't make a trade here. Honestly, I would keep Kelsey if you can. Kelsey's a way better tight end unless you really need people. But I think you're okay lineup wise. Maybe try and trade Fant and someone for like an Eckler if you won't take it. That would put. Yep, I know, right? Jerry Jones has got to get in. Yeah, Ty. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. So well, it's not really a backup, but Dexter Mcwilliams is decent. I think he might be a go-to play. We were talking a little bit about Matt Breida. He's probably going to get the start this week, but we don't really know what that committee is going to look like just yet. Gio and Jamal, I always love as stashes for backups, right? I think they're great. So I really do like them as just like, even if their starters are back, stash them because they are involved as well. So yeah, those are some of the guys I like. Nyheim Hines is good. He's used a lot in the passing game like we saw last week. So, you know, you want to think about the running backs that are valuable on their own when the starter's playing, plus becomes an automatic, you know, almost RB1 or like really just a pickup of the week if their running back goes down. JT had a little injury. I don't think it's going to be anything major, but if he does get injured, Nyheim Hines is going to be the hottest pickup of this year. I guarantee you. We were talking about the Seahawks daddy, yep. What do you think of McKinnon this week? I know you favor history, prefer neither, but I read the 49ers are across the board, so they rely on. I mean, you know, they say that, but like, you know, what happened last week, right? All they said was McKinnon's got tired legs, which what does that mean, right? Can he just only play like one game out of the year or what? But like, let's look at his usage, right? Maybe they'll use it, and like that's the thing is like it's also kind of a roulette if you play the 49ers running back game. But if we just look at the stats from last week, so 2 weeks ago I know he wasn't used. Last week, Jerick McKinnon got 3 rushes for -1 yards, right? And then he was targeted 4 targets for 40 yards. I mean, 49er fans, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Mullen is actually going to benefit our sort of like deeper and medium pass wide receivers a little bit more. So I like Jordan Reed. I like Brandon Ayuk. I like Kendrick Bourne a lot. I don't know that Mullins is much of a checkdown passer, so 49er fans, please let me know. But I don't know that I don't think I would start. There's a lot of people on the waiver wires that I would start over McKinnon at this week. Young, you have to bench him until we see more, right? Every quarterback's gonna like more people. DiNucci really liked Gallup and made him relevant for 1 week. But whoever starts for them this week, we don't know who they're gonna like. So it's a risk if you play CD. I would bench him. Between Dexter and Urban, I like Dexter. If Dexter is the guy that everyone's saying is going to start, because Aaron Rodgers even said something about how he liked his like work ethic or like how he plays, maybe. But yeah, that's tough. You know, once you get down to literally the third and fourth string running backs or any position, it's so hard to tell. But maybe slightly towards Dexter. Burke, I would say let's monitor the situation and see what other news comes out of the Green Bay camp over in the next few days, and then decide there. Gio or Latavius Murray as a stash? I like Gio a little bit more. Need a wide receiver this week? Miles, what's up? If Michael Thomas is out, do I drop Gio for John Brown, or is Mixon still going to be out? I don't know that I would drop Gio. I think you should stash. I don't like John Brown. So if there's anyone else you can pick up, Miles, look at my waiver wire video and look at the list to see if there's anyone you can pick up. But I do not really like. I don't like John Brown. Ty, nice. I didn't even know I had those emojis. I think Hasty is the only reliable back, even if he's temporarily up for sure. Mullins is less here to throw the ball. Yep, yeah, Kevin Bourne. Oops. Listen, man, that stream was so fun that I was editing all my videos at like 2 a.m. and I was like, I'm not gonna re-record this. Like, it's gonna not only look bad, like the lighting's gonna look bad. Like I'm wearing different clothes. Like it's all messed up. So listen. I'll say I did it on purpose for our boy Burke because he's our lonely Seahawks fan in the chat. Picking him back up and dropping him. There you go. Yeah, for sure, Davis. No, I appreciate it. Would you take Fournette for Zeke? I don't know that I would. Just because Fournette is in that running back split right now, so I would be leaning towards Zeke here. Should I drop Will Fuller for Corey Davis? He's been having trauma with a Jason, no, I would keep Will Fuller. I would drop someone else for Corey Davis if you can. Post your lineup, but let's see if there's anyone else we can drop. If you can roster both, I think that's a move. I mean, Aaron Jones will either pick up one of the backs to try and pick up claim Kirk off the waivers off the side. Do you need to start a running back, Burke? Because if you don't, I do like Kirk a lot. Oh, because if this is for your flex, I would go Kirk right now. And maybe hope that people don't pick up the Green Bay running back because there's not solid news. But without like knowing exactly who's going to start, I don't know that I could tell you to waste the waiver on Dexter right now. Kirk, at least we know what he's about, right? Yeah, Fuller's going. Yeah, Fuller is staying in Texans. Fuller or Cooks? I like Fuller a little bit more. I think Cooks is probably going to get more receptions, but I think Fuller probably has a little bit higher of a TD upside. Do I pick up Corey Davis of Allen Robinson, Boyd, Keenan Allen, and will he ever be startable? Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think you should get Corey Davis. I think he's going to be startable a lot of weeks over some of your guys there. I mean, just look at last week, right? I don't know the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Corey Davis scored more than all 3 of those guys, so he wouldn't just be a bench guy for you. Yeah, Ty, we were talking about it. The trade sucked. We went over a few trades. The only one that was worth note was the DeAndre Washington to the Dolphins, which, like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, we'll see what happens there. I think it's interesting. I think, you know, we have to go in with the assumption that Breida is probably going to be the lead back, but it's definitely an interesting move they made, and I wonder why they did it. You know, in conjunction to Gaskin's injury, maybe DeAndre Washington gets involved too. That backfield is also not something that we can predict, unfortunately, at the moment. Yep, tie for sure. Who'd I hold on? Who'd I hold on to my bench? Gio or Gus? Ooh. Oh man. Honestly, I think Gio. I like Gio a little bit more. That's a tough one. I think I like Gio a little bit more. Isaiah Ford? I don't think so. I mean, has anyone heard of Isaiah Ford before tonight? Let's see. 6'2", 194. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's do a little research on this guy. I don't. I mean, he can do any, like N'Keal Harry can't do anything right now. Julian Edelman wasn't really doing much. I don't really believe in their passing game, is what I'll say, right? So let's see what people are saying on the subreddit for the Patriots. Yeah, I mean, based off of the few top comments, I don't think so. Yeah. I agree with that, Burke, for sure. I had Robbie Anderson and Fuller, but traded for Boyd and Gaskin. Yeah, that's tough. Do you trust the defense against the Raiders week 11? They get smoked. I don't know that I would trust them. I think the Raiders are on my list to go up, and the Raiders upset them, right? So I don't know that I would. It's also a divisional game. Like I always tell you guys, I think divisional games, anything can go. So I don't think I would trust that. What are your thoughts on Jets players? Mims, Pirine, Crowder. Yeah, I think Pirine's worth a stash. I think Pirine and Mims are both worth stashes. Pirine and Crowder are probably going to be more playable in the future, but I'm kind of curious to see what happens with the distribution and everything once Mims and Crowder are both on the field, because I don't think Crowder's been back yet, right? So that'll be really interesting to see, I think. Thoughts on Swift? I like him. I think, you know, he is trending upwards. You know, bad game last week because he played a really tough defense, but I think he's trending upwards. Jason Search, should I drop the Chiefs defense and stash the Dolphins? You have to really play the matchups, right? Who do they have the Chiefs have over the next few weeks? They've got Panthers, Raiders, Bucks, Broncos. See, like, I think they're going to be great for the Broncos. I think they might be good for the Dolphins. Do you have another defense that you've been playing right now? Or, like, what's the deal with that? Richard, what's up, man? Welcome. Mims is very intriguing. He's solid, he's, you know, physically pretty solid. And I think he could potentially, you know, be good. Drop one, Mike Williams, Judy, Rieger. I would probably drop Judy here. Hasty or Justin Jackson? I'd go Hasty here. Jackson, interesting. Luke, why do you go Jackson here? Hasn't the Chargers been like splitting things, and like now they have a third running back involved too, right? I think the Chargers are kind of a RBBC right now. I've only got the Chiefs. Again, keep an eye out sort of to see what happens with Christian McCaffrey this week, but he might be I don't know. It might be a little bit of a tough match. Like, I don't know if I would comfortably start the Chiefs this week if McCaffrey was back as well, I'll say. Yeah, okay. But who's the other, like, there was another guy that actually got involved a lot, right? It was, I don't remember his name. It was like literally the fifth string running back. Let's look at this. Trey Manpool, yep, exactly, because he got involved too, right? So I guess I don't know that I can comfortably say that it's it's not an RBC, right? And like I don't like you guys are saying that what's his face? Kelly got benched, right? But like 2 games ago, didn't he get more carries than Jackson? So that's a tough one. Hope replace Kelly. Interesting. Okay. So again, like if we look at the stats, Justin Jackson 17-10 Pope. Yeah, I mean, I think you go other way. The other thing to notice is that like the 49ers are playing the worst run defense for fantasy, so that's something to consider. But yeah, I mean, if you guys all think Jackson, I think it's a valid point, right? They're both sort of like similar running backs in similar situations. Maybe Justin Jackson for a little bit of a higher upside. Who are the Chargers playing this week? Chargers schedule the Raiders, so not a tough defense though. Yeah, Sam, I'm probably ending soon, so yeah, thank you for coming through. For sure, yep, okay. It's only McKinnon and Hasty. Well, Tevin Coleman is, I guess we'll see what Tevin Coleman's injury is about, right? I know he got injured. I don't know if it's actually serious, so it'll be very curious to see what happens there. Yeah, definitely a hard one. Maybe go Justin Jackson here because of just honestly the better offense. But I do think the 49ers offense will surprise us. Yup. Yeah, so I know it's getting late, and I know, you know, there's other stuff. Yeah, for sure, James. I always love to talk it through. But yeah, it's getting late, and I know there's some other stuff that's going on in our lives right now. So if no one else has any questions, well, maybe we'll just end early and get some people some sleep. You know, next video that's gonna come out is gonna be Thursday morning with starts and sits. And we'll have a stream a little bit earlier Thursday, probably around like 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, Thursday night. Is there a Mostert-esque breakout possible for Hasty? I guess, you know, for me, I don't know. Let me know, like, for people that have actually watched Hasty play, let me know. But I don't, like, from his stats at least, it doesn't look like he's like that explosive of a runner. So I don't really know. It's kind of tough. I don't expect him to be as Mostert-esque, so I don't know. Get another one. Chenault got dropped. Worth pickup flex in case of injury. Could be, but I feel like he's been training down a little bit, and without Minshew there, I don't know how well he's going to be. So he's definitely on my lower list of things to pick up. Davis, yep, yeah, for sure. Hey, I appreciate it. You know, I still think my stuff is pretty average, but I'm glad that you guys like it and I can help people. But yeah, the next one will be Thursday night. We'll start an hour before the game and probably go a little bit into the game. So we'll focus on any like Thursday night questions because I know we have San Francisco and Green Bay going. But the next video will probably come out Thursday morning for starts and sits. Yeah. If it's trying to stash him and practice questions, it's possible. It really depends. Overthinks it. Yep. Oxy fence. There it is. For sure. All right. Well, hey, thank you all. Hopefully, the world doesn't end tonight after some more events. But I know this has been great, and a great amount of viewers in the stream tonight. Again, I think we're averaging between like 12 and 15 the entire night, so that was great. But yeah. Hey Gilbert, you tune in just for the end of the stream here. Now we were just talking a little bit more about players we wanted to look at, a few stashes and stuff like that. But I think we're gonna probably be ending the stream soon. I was telling people the next stream will be Thursday night, an hour before the game starts. So look out for that and look out for the next video that comes out Thursday morning. Otherwise, yeah, great time as always. Thank you all for stopping by. I always, appreciate the viewers that are coming here like pretty much right away and in every stream. So definitely appreciate y'all. So have a good night. I'm gonna play my little outro. Enjoy whatever music's left, but see you all on Thursday. Have a good night.